everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time for patch 2.5. It is time for many things. If I'm sounding a little bit nasally, I'm just recently got over a pretty nasty cold. I'm better now, but I'm in that phase of recovery where the body's like, are you though? Maybe we want to keep coughing and have a little bit of a nasally sound to our voice for a little while longer. It's annoying, and I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just going to pretend it's not happening. Anyways, if I sound a little bit nasally, apologies. I'll try and keep it to a minimum. It's the beginning of the week, so it's time for the Minion Roulette. This week we are going to be having... Puppy! We got a wolf pup. Alright, so we are doing patch 2.5 now. We are on to the final main story patch before Heavensward. How are things going to move into Heavensward? I suppose we'll be finding out. Alright, before we get started, we do have several things that I want to mark off real quick. First off, I got 5 new minions. We got the Onion Prince, the Eggplant Knight, the Garlic Jester, the Tomato King, and the Mandragora Queen. If you want to know how I got these, well, I got them off the market board on my main account, which has a ridiculous amount of money. It has millions of gil, whereas I have very finite gil on this account because I am trying to work on relic weapons and they are very expensive. Realm Reborn relic weapons step 7 is extremely expensive, even if I think it is one of the easier steps. So I ended up buying those off the market board on my main, trading them to my partner, and then my partner traded them to Satora here. And that's how I was able to get them. Because you can't trade items from one of your characters to another one of your characters. No, it's not that simple. But the normal way you get them is through player housing, specifically gardening. Because player housing is so hard to come by, I'm not relying on that. I just decided, you know what, they're not too expensive on the market board. I'm gonna use my reserves of cash on my main to get them for Satora here. And that's just gonna have to be fine. Alright, let's go ahead and go over their information over in the guide. After learning that his parents married not for love but for duty, the Onion Prince vowed he would never walk in the footsteps of his parents, and to this day promises his base-born sweetheart, the Leek Maid, that they will run away and be wed. Ah, bloody hells, who's cutting onions back there from Buscaran? Next up, the Eggplant Knight. House Eggplant has faithfully served the royal line of Tomato Kings for 18 generations, never once betraying the throne. Until, that is, the night of the 19th generation laid eyes on the fair Mandragora Queen. If you eat too many of this vegetable, you will turn into one. Common wives' tale. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works, but okay. Garlic Jester, the son of a traveling mummer who performed under the name Garlic Star, the Jester swore he would never follow in the footsteps of his father. However, after being deemed too malodorous to serve in the Royal Guard, he swallowed his pride and fell back on the only trade he knew. Unfortunate. And this irresistible aroma. From Ingham. I don't remember who Ingham is. After the flames of the calamity rendered Lord Tomato a king without a kingdom, the Ruby Red region packed up his seeds and set out on a journey to find a new land to rule. He currently roams the realm, recruiting any taproot, tuber, or corm who will follow his standard. It is apparently a rogue outcast from its kin, a stranger in a strange land, from Tomaj. And finally, Mandragora Queen. Destined to a life with a man she did not love, nary a night passed when the Mandragora Queen did not dream of throwing herself into the sea's eternal embrace. Until, that is, she laid eyes on the noble Eggplant Knights. I want to be waist deep in little white Mandragora limbs. From a Yellow Jacket. Lovely. Alright, next on the list of things I picked up on my main. Orchestrion rolls that you can get from the Twin Adder with Grand Company seals, which I did not pick up before leaving the Twin Adders. Got it on my main, traded it to my partner, who then traded it over to Satora. Thank you again very much, Thabita. Very, very kind and helpful of you to help me trade this over. We got into the Adder's Den, and we got Dewdrops and Moonbeams. Alright, let me double check that I am not missing anything else before we get started today, and then we will go get started on the main story. Alright, I believe we are good to go. Now, my gear is probably a little bit out of date from how it actually was in more recent episodes you may have seen. Just because my group is still working through the final coils of Bahamut, it's not going particularly poorly. We cleared turn 10 quite smoothly. It's just I ran out of other things to do in patch 2.4, and we only meet once a week for binding coils, so I decided to move onwards with the main story, and that may mean that our gear is not actually quite up to date with where it probably should be. And that's fine, because we have item level 129, which is in part because of Azema's earrings being overpowered, but shh, don't worry about it. Our gear is fine, but it will likely change over the coming weeks as my group progresses through the final coils and gets that done. Alright then, moving on into the Rising Stones. I believe we checked in with everyone at the end of patch 2.4, but let's double check. Lots of new faces have come in from all over to join the Crystal Braves. We're glad for the help, of course, but it's still a right pain in the arse training them up. That might be old dialogue, I'm not sure. Thancred is not doing well. This is a familiar sight. I think we're caught up. Hey, I just gotta say, you're a pretty, you're alright. Yeah, no, okay. I think we're caught up. And I think my nose does not want me doing this anyway, so you know what? Yeah, this is all old dialogue. We're good. Let's go speak with Minfilia then. And start off patch 2.5 by seeing what's new for us. Hello there. Minfilia is considering which of her many responsibilities demands her utmost attention. I am most eager to address the Ascian threat, however we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that St. Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. It is improving though. They have definitely seen our value, both in us and in our mission, so that's a positive. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Possibly not, but all of our responsibilities so far have been pretty important. We're protecting people, so if no one else is gonna do it. Lest you forget, Antecedent, the Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. We're not the Crystal Braves, established for this very reason. True, we are presented with a multitude of problems, however, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. True, the Crystal Braves are definitely an extremely valuable resource to have. We just need to deal with the issues one at a time. We will keep making headway. We're making progress with Ishgard. If we can get Ishgard in an alliance with us, that'll make things even easier. Satori in particular is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. As much as I can. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Ul'dah? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Yeah, I can't imagine that's pleasant for anyone. Suffice it to say, Telegia Adelegia and his Monitor Silk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Raban needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I'm to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so, for the foreseeable future, I think it would be for the best if I were to remain in Ul'dah, unless you have an objection. None whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Moonbreeder's research is proceeding as planned. So she tells me, though I am not familiar with the details. Urianger is poring over his tomes at the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it is only a matter of time. Satoru, while we focus on that task, mayhap you could assist Alphino and his Braves with theirs. It would do much to restore faith in the immortal flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. I have to agree, actually. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Riel's latest reports. He has proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others wish kept secret, hence why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Ul'Dan riots. When you are finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. Sounds good. Let's keep making progress. I'm still not entirely pleased with how y'all just kind of threw me into the ether stream and into the live stream and hoped it didn't die when we were dealing with Shiva, but it was our best option, so Alright, and people have moved around significantly. Alright, Throat, we can do this. I know we just got over an illness, but we can survive. Please bear with me. If I cough and forget to cut it out, my sincere apologies. Hello, Satora. Are you sleeping well? You must be absolutely exhausted from saving the realm on a daily basis. Ha! Ha! Ever since Moonbrita arrived, the Rising Stones has been buzzing with excited energy. I must admit her enthusiasm is rather contagious. I am unfamiliar with the dishes of the lands to the north. Perhaps once Moonbrita has concluded her current research, she might deign to share with me her culinary knowledge. Ooh, you might not want that actually. You don't want to know Charlian recipes. Trust me, we'll get into this. Moonbrita has charged us with acquiring some rather esoteric manuscripts, but I'm afraid the task is proving to be nigh impossible. When the City of Learning was abandoned, a great many tomes were scattered and lost. How smoothly our research might proceed were we able to peruse the archives of yesteryear. Ooh, that's gonna come up again in due time. I won't say when, but it will come up again. I love how much they're setting up for the future here. I'm not gonna tell you when it's gonna come up again, but I love how much they keep setting up for the future with the side dialogue here. We needed a rare ore to modify the White Auracite, and Thancred solved the problem using only his Link Pearl. I mean, it's great and everything, but where's the fun in that? I mean, fair, but also it's more of a job than a game. It is a rather urgent situation, Ida, so I think I can accept using a bit of a shortcut to get it more done and more efficiently. When one is in need of precious commodities, it helps to have friends in the right places. Fortunately, I'm well acquainted with the charming daughter of a successful Ul'Dan import merchant. Well, that's handy. Apologies again. If I'm pausing, it's either to drink water or because lingering cough. I would have kept waiting to feel better, but honestly, it takes forever. Yeah, I have no idea when the lingering cough after an illness will go away. It can be weeks, and I don't want to wait that long. I really like patch 2.5. I was excited to get started. Alright, hello, Hoary Boulder. We were but stripling adventurers the night we saw fire rain from the sky and a pillar of light scorch the heavens. What a sight that was, eh, Colton? Oh, okay, maybe I wasn't quite as healed as I had hoped. Hori and I were in Eastern Thanalan when the colossal shards of Dalamud pierced the ground. Oh, you were there when the burning wall formed then. We stood witness to the subsequent explosion of ether and watched dumbfounded as the swirling energy solidified into those twisted crystal structures that we now know so well. God, that must have been a sight. I'm so glad you two survived. These two have been telling me stories about the corrupted crystal formations that appeared following the calamity. I'll need more data before I can draw a conclusion, but I'm intrigued by the potential of their untapped energies. Interesting. Maybe that will lead somewhere. I'm curious to find out. Alright, done catching up with everyone. Hello, Alphino. Is everything in order, Satoru? Are you ready to attend us? I am ready. Pleasure as always, Satoru. You'll be escorting the commander to Ul'dah, I take it? Actually, I had another task in mind for her. If you'd be so kind as to repeat your report for her benefit. Right then. Me and mine have been making inquiries into the source of the weapons what found their way into refugee hands a ways back. So happens we caught wind of something promising, a rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near High Bridge. I doubt that this man would have secured such a quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients waiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind that merchant would cut an arrow while talking to Satoru, don't it? Generous fellow he was, doling out swords and spears for the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say that these clients might have the same mischief in mind. But if we want to be sure, it might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods, savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the black marketeer as well as his clients. What say you, Satoru? Sounds like a plan to me. Then it is settled. Rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at High Bridge and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Ul'dah. I expect good tidings. Alright, thank you for the reports, Reel. That's very helpful. Don't keep Captain Ilbert waiting for you too long, lass. He might have to start without you. Don't worry, I won't. Nobody moved around again, did they? No. Alright then, let's go catch up with Ilbert then. Alright, hello there, Ilbert. Good to see you. I assume you received the same reports? Ah, Satoru, my scouts have been keeping a close eye on the black marketeer, and it would seem that his guests have just arrived. It would also seem that he has hired more than a few men to stand guard. Common thugs of no consequence, but they nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. This is far beneath a woman of your standing, and Commander Levier needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men never have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, it is only natural that he would come to rely upon you without hesitation. Hey, I'm just glad I can be of assistance. Alright then, next time on Final Fantasy XIV. Looks like it's time for a bait and switch? I assume this is referring to how our plan's gonna go down for actually capturing the black marketeer. Alright then, I'll see everyone next time as we move into Strike.